Good morning, students. Today we are going to read about the rules for block diagram reduction. Actually, why we require block diagram reduction is because of these points. Firstly, all the systems are represented by complex block diagrams which have number of forward and feedback loops. As we have also done the block diagram reduction, we have made the block diagram reduction of armature control DC motor. So basically what we have to do is we have to simplify the complete complex block diagram into a single block with a single input and a single output. So these are basically the basic components in any block diagram. One, you can find it out a summing point. Second one, you can see with the red color the branch point, that is actually called the takeoff point. So firstly, let's discuss these 2 points in detail. When we talk about summing point has only one output. It can have a number of inputs, but it will only give one output depending on the sign that is being given to the input signal that enters it. So here we can see a number of examples, like in first and second there are 2 inputs and 1 output. In the third and the fourth figure you can find out that there are 3 number of inputs and only 1 output is there. Now we come on to the takeoff point. Basically takeoff point is to give the signal either in the feedback path or in the forward path from the main line of the signal that is going out. So here we can see that to a block G, X is the input and Y is the output. So we have taken a takeoff point, which is also because that has been taken from line Y, so it is also giving us the Y output. Now we come on to the rules of the block diagram reduction. The very first rule discusses about how we have to simplify if the blocks are in the cascaded form. So here we can see if 2 blocks are in cascade, you have to simply multiply the 2 and make one single block out of the 2 blocks. Now if there are blocks in parallel, so according to the sign given to the summing point, you have to add them or subtract them depending on the sign. So now we come on to the shifting a takeoff point ahead of a block. Here you can see in figure number 1 that we want to shift the takeoff point P that has got a P output, and just check it out that actually P is equal to XS. Why? Because we are taking the takeoff point from the XS line, the input line. So whenever we are going to do any set of rules, we are applying any set of rules, what we have to make sure is after interchanging the position of any point, the output on all the points should remain same. Like if we are going to shift this P point to a place before this block GS, then again the output of this takeoff point should remain P. So after shifting it, you all can see that we are actually not getting P equal to XS, but P equals to YS. So what we have to go for is we have to divide it. Why? Because YS is actually GS into XS. So if we want XS back, so we have to divide that P equal to YS divided by GS will give us XS. So you can see here, whenever we have to shift a takeoff point from a position ahead of the block, we have to always divide it by that block from which we are jumping that takeoff point. So similarly the next one, now it is after a block and now we are going to shift it behind a block. So we have to go for the reverse thing. We have to now multiply it by GS. You can all see that in the first diagram the output actually is equal to YS, where YS equals to XS into GS. But when we are shifting it to a position before the block, we are getting XS, but the answer should be multiplied with GS. So we have added another block as GS. Now we come on to shifting a summing point ahead of a block. So the main thing that you all should remember is rule 5. And basically what is happening here is if we are giving a P input to the summing point and XS is also there, the output is XS plus P. So multiplying it by GS, we get our this output as YS. So now when we are shifting our this summing point to a position before the block GS, what we are getting is XS into GS plus P. But what we should have got? P into GS. So what we have to do is we have to multiply a block along with P to make it same as that of figure 1. Similarly, we have got a summing point behind to in front. So same procedure is to be done, but now it has to be divided by GS. You all can check the output. In figure number 1, we are getting XS GS plus P, but after shifting it to this side, what we are getting is XS GS plus P into GS. So what we want is only P. So what we have to do is we have to add a block with inverse block 1 upon GS in the P side of the summing point. Now what we have to do for the interchanging of the summing points? Basically, if we want to interchange the summing points, we need not do anything. We can simply shift them if they are alternate to one another. There should be no block or takeoff point in between these two summing points. Now splitting or combining the summing points, if you can see that according to the sign given to the summer, all the inputs to the summer are added or subtracted. So eliminating a feedback loop, whenever there is a feedback loop, you all can check the direction of HS. It is in the feedback loop. It is going from outward side to the input side. So whenever it is there, the formula for that we are going to derive also in our lecture, the formula for that is GS upon 1 plus minus GSHS. If there is plus minus, the sign will be inverted. It will be means if plus is there in the main diagram, when we are removing the feedback path, it will become minus, and if it is minus here, then it will become plus. So alternate will be there. So now the main steps for block diagram reduction is you all should take only those rules that are going to make your diagram more simple. The main thing that you should go for is to first remove the parallelly connected blocks, then your cascaded blocks, then your feedback loops and all, to make the diagram more simple. So now we come on to our numerical one. If you all can see here, we have got a summer, we have got cascading also. So the main thing we should, only by viewing it, we can just suggest that firstly we should simplify the cascaded blocks and the parallel blocks. So let's go on to our steps. So in step 1, we have done the cascading. We have simplified the cascading to G1 into G2 into G3. Now we will be solving the parallel blocks. So they will become G4 plus G5 plus G6. Remember one thing only, that for cascading it is multiplication, for parallel it is your summer, for summer that is your addition or subtraction. So now what we can find is we can always simplify the feedback path. H0 path we are going to simplify first. So here by applying the formula, you all can check it out that there was a positive sign here, so here it comes out to be negative. So now we have got two blocks in cascade, so we are going to multiply our G1 G2 G3 upon 1 minus G1 G2 G3 H0 with the parallel summation of G4 plus G5 plus G6, and then we are going to solve our feedback path. So here we have got this, and now we are going to apply our feedback formula. So this is our last step to do so. We are applying this first one formula, and then we are going to have this thing, and finally after simplifying the complete block diagram, the final answer is this last equation. That's all. Thanks for watching.